Now let's continue to track the story that is topping the bulletins today. Buses, trucks and vehicles torched or vandalized, a person shot dead and tourism crippled. The Cape Town taxi strike is having a devastating impact. SANTACO has vowed to continue the stay away until Wednesday. That's a public holiday. So will we see an end to the strike after that? To help us answer this question, I'm joined now by the Cape Town MMC for Urban Mobility. That's Roberto Quintas. Mr. Quintas, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Just firstly, can you confirm whether or not there has been confirmation that what happened on the N2 highway earlier today is as a result of the strike?
Very good afternoon to you and all the viewers. So the disruptions that have been seen in this morning, particularly the blockading of certain on-ramps and off-ramps and areas of the N2 by minibus taxis would, for me, indicate that this is 100% related to the minibus taxi strike. It would be very difficult to see it in any other light. And in fact, the reality is that the type of violence being seen across the city of Cape Town over the past week or so is the sort of violence one only really sees during periods of taxi industry strike.
Tell me something, if you were part of the meeting yesterday that broke down, what exactly resulted in the breaking down of talks between the Western Cape government and SANTACO and other taxi associations?
I was part of those talks and was on Friday evening as well. Part of the discussions. The Sunday meeting yesterday was a continuation and kind of affirmation of the items tabled on Friday. Yes, but there are primarily two reasons for the breakdown of that meeting and the suspension of engagements with the industry. The first is around some of the items that were being tabled and demanded by the minibus taxi industry in the meeting, which are items that the City of Cape Town and the provincial government, and in fact, as a result of the law, national law, cannot acquiesce to. That included a suspension or moratorium of all impoundments over the next 7 days. The reality is that the City of Cape Town is not going to negotiate around impoundments on vehicles that are unroadworthy, that put commuters' lives in danger and put other road users' lives in danger. We're also not prepared to negotiate around impoundments where the driver doesn't have a driver's license or a public driver's permit, or where the driver doesn't have an operating license. Furthermore, we're also not prepared to negotiate around not impounding for reckless driving, which often includes going into the yellow line, red line lanes, or driving over traffic roundabouts, traffic circles, through red lights and through stop streets. So those are our non-negotiables. And we're not prepared to see some impoundments for that sort of behavior, which is entirely on the onus of the industry. Then the second reason for the breakdown is that during the meeting, there was a call up, should I say, from Dorp Street outside the Mobility Ministry, where the leadership of SANTACO were alerted to the fact that South African police services and city safety services were doing inspections and searches in the vehicles that were parked outside the ministry. Now, the reason for those searches is quite simply that during the Netball World Cup, and threats of disruptions to that, there has been a tremendous amount of surveillance on the City of Cape Town CBD. What happened is that when some of the leadership arrived, they were escorted into the building, a government building, by men with balaclavas, sunglasses, and carrying AK-47s. Now, of course, that red flagged immediately with the Joint Operations Center between SAPS and City around safety and security in the CBD. That led to vehicles being searched and checks for permits carrying an AK-47 rifle in public.
And so it's all the legal... It's all the legal issues that go up to national that has caused the breakdown. Of course, some people would say that the taxi associations want to be exempted from what all of us are expected to do as motorists. But I want to move to the N2 highway. The danger there, it's quite a strategic road. It leads to the international airport. And you mentioned that the netball tournament just ended. So there's going to be quite a lot of people who need to get in and out of Cape Town. What are you going to do to clear that up? My colleague Sipho Mandlakoke is showing us at 1 o'clock. All right. It seems we've lost connection to Roberto Quintas. He is the MMC for Urban Mobility in the Western Cape. I wanted to know what they're going to do about the N2 highway, especially since it's leading up to the 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock rush when school children as well as their parents are now heading home.